Hello, hello, crafty friends. Just popped on a minute earlier just to make sure I am set up. Welcome, welcome. If you are joining me live, please say hello. If you are catching the replay, please let me know that as well. Love when I have friends join live. We're going to play with Latte Love again. I'm super excited. As you know, I had my card class a week or two ago, and I'm going to show you that. And my intention is to probably stick with the same stamp set for the month. So that will be my lives, these cocktail and crafts that are the first and third Friday of each month right here on my Facebook page. And what I will do is after I go live here, you can catch the replay if you want to follow along again. If you want to recreate the project, you can find it back here on my Facebook page or on my YouTube page. You can find me on YouTube at Crafty Diva USA. So everything for me on social media is at Crafty Diva USA. But I welcome you. Hey, Jean, how are you from hot Florida? Whew, I know it. It's very hot. I think we're going to hit, what, 100? Saturday and Sunday, they say. So I will be either crafting inside in the air conditioner or sitting out in the pool. So that's about it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're just joining me, thank you for joining. Let me know you're here. And we will get going in just a few moments. I just want to make sure I can see my comments. Yes, I can. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to make a double fun fold card. Hello, Mom. So my mom's joining from New Jersey. I do have this. Let me put that up if you want to take a screenshot. Again, these are the directions for today's card. Hello, Susan. Susan, how is it by you with your weather? Geez, I've been following you and you have not been having fun weather. So I hope everybody is doing well by you. So yeah, so here's the directions. These are just some simple cutting guides. Simple cutting directions. I'm going to go over everything with you, but we're going to make this. This is one of my sample cards. This is a double flap fun fold. I made this a while back. This is using some close to my heart products that I had at that time. Really fun birthday card. But we're going to remake that card, but we're going to make it using Latte Love, and I do have a sample. But we're going to go over lots of techniques today. We're going to do some heat embossing. We're going to do some double stamping. I'm going to show you how these thin cuts work in this set because it's so fun. I'm going to show you this technique that I don't know how I feel about it, but then after it was done, it was kind of cool using this embossing folder, the So Swirly embossing folder. So I'll show you that technique. And then just some more decorating. But this is a super cute card. I would use this card as a gift card holder as well. Again, if you stick a pop dot, or what are those called? The glue dots, in any inside of any type of fun fold, you can just put that there and then put your gift card there. Example, here's a Chewy gift certificate. Coupon, but this is the size of a gift card, right? So say you put your glue dot there, you can stick your gift card there and there as well. Hello, Monique. How are you? All right, let me see. It's been rough again today, Susan. Hey, the roof is coming soon. Yeah, she's been having hail. It's been terrible weather. All right, so before I get started, I just want to remind everybody, if you didn't catch me on my card class, so that you know the new things, as I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator now, that I'll be offering monthly. So I'm going to be doing my cocktails and crafts, like I said, the first and third Friday of every month. You'll find that here on Facebook and then again on YouTube. And then the last Tuesday of every month, I do a free card class. So I come on using a bundle and I will create cards. And then if you want to remake these cards, you can pick up, I create a diagram also for you. I have to make a few edits that I found. But if you place a $50 order on my website using this host code right here through June 14th, that's when eligibility for this ends, you'll get a kit in the mail to make all 4 of these cards. You can go back to the video on YouTube. It's now on YouTube to watch me make these cards, but This is one of them. So you'll get everything to make these cards with the directions I will email to you, and then you can remake them. And it uses the same bundle. So that's going to be my thing. So I'm going to show you multiple ways to use bundles. So this is a fun fold card, that one, and then this is more of a gift card holder and for a sentiment right there. So you can get the kit to make all this. I will send you everything. The only thing is there will be no stamping. You will get everything in the mail to create this, but no stamping. So you can use stamps from your stash, or you can go and pick up the Latte Love. That's up to you. So it's free with a $50 purchase. Or if you do not want to make a purchase, but you want the kit, it's $29. You have to email me. Or if you are a demonstrator and you just want my guide here, or you just want the guide, it's $10 and you email me. So that is the last Tuesday of every month. So come back. I think June 25th is my next class, and I'm going to be using Hearts and Hugs, whatever it's called. You just have to wait and see. All right, let's get to today's class. So what we are going to do, I first want to show you, so the Stamp and Thin Cut, this has lots of thin cuts, right? All these little pieces, and I'm going to show you which I'm using for the card. So look at this. How cool is this? I think this is like an urn, right? Is this what you consider an urn? But I will tell you, I did not know for probably a good hour what to do after I thin cut this out, right? I got the silver piece here, and I was like, but that just looks silly now. Something should go in it. Now this is the inside piece for, you know, my coffee. It's this piece right here. It's this picture. I thought this was just like an iced tea picture or something, but this, when you cut it out, is the underneath piece for that. So, little tip for you, because I couldn't figure it out for like a good hour. But I have that. Also, another thing I want to show you about these thin cuts. So this is one of the DSP pages from the Cafe Latte collection, right? So the thin cuts, here's the thin cut for this right here, which is the top of a coffee cup, like the top view, but the thin cuts cut out the paper perfectly, and you have a die cut now. So some of the Stampin' Up! Thin cuts work on the paper. I didn't know that. So that's amazing, right? So this thin cut definitely does, so I'm using that. Now, here is the inside of the coffee, right? So this is the circle if you were gonna cut out these inside pieces, right? So now, taking that same DSP paper, all I did was cut out the inside, because I stamped a top view coffee cup that I'm going to use in my project, and here's the inside. So I colored it with my marker, and I went inside the edge, right, so that when I put this on top, it was edge to edge. So there is another coffee cup. Super cool. So lots of things you can do with this Stampin' Thin Cut. So the card's going to be super quick to put together. I really thought the beauty in this set was showing you all the different ways you can use this. So think about making a scrapbook layout, right? Which I'm going to do because my daughter just traveled to the Starbucks in Chicago. It's supposedly like 5 stories. So I'm going to make some scrapbook layouts, but I thought, how cool is it going to be, like layer up a whole bunch of these and cluster them? So I think those are the only, this thin cut may work on the other paper also. I didn't try it, but if not, this one definitely does on this DSP. So I cut them out. I also cut out some of the little beans here, right? Those are adorable. I stamped and colored those. I don't want to lose that. And then I also used the thin cut for the coffee cup. But you notice the coffee in there, that is another piece of cardstock, but that is these 2 pieces right here, okay? So you use this, and that cuts out those 2 little pieces that you would adhere on the top of your coffee cup. Okay, so that is another thing I wanted to let you know. And I think that's it with the Stampin' Thin Cut for now. All I did was use this super swirly, So Swirly embossing folder for that one piece, just to show you a little technique. Let's go over the dimensions. I'm going to put this right here so you can see that. And we will go through them together. Let me clean this up. And like I said, this is going to be quick. I'm just going to show you a few different techniques. All right. Oh, and if you're joining, I'm not sure if you have your cocktail with you, but let me know what it is. And mine today, I'm just going to keep it under my, it's bubbly seltzer water with a nice fresh lime full of ice. So let me take a sip. So that is my cocktail of choice today. And it would have been something stronger, but I just wasn't feeling it. All right. This is an optional piece. So if we go down the cutting guide, you're going to need a piece of cardstock. This is for your base, 4 1/4 by 11, and you're going to score it at 5 1/2. Okay. Then you're going to use another piece of cardstock. You're going to cut that down to 3 1/4 by 10. And you're going to score that at 5. All that's listed here. Now, since I'm using close to my heart cardstock, please don't get confused about this if you don't have close to my heart. If you're a close to my heart customer, our cardstock was double-sided, as you can tell, dark, light. So for me, and if you are going to use close to my heart cardstock, there's an optional, I put an optional piece because I want the dark side to show. So I'm going to cover up the light side. So I needed another piece, dark side, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. If you're using Stampin' Up! Cardstock or cardstock that is not double-sided, you can just omit this optional piece, okay? All right, then you need a piece of DSP. This is for the top. I'll keep this here to show you the pieces, okay? So this right here is 2 3/8 by 4 1/8, and you can remake this with any stamp set, okay? Then you're going to need a piece for our inside base, which is right here, and that is 4 by 5 1/4. Then you're going to need this inside piece right here. That's 3 1/8 by 4 7/8. Then you need, there's a piece of DSP with a piece of white. So those two are going to adhere together, and they are 2 1/2 by 4 and 2 5/8 by 4 1/8. Okay. Then you're going to need another piece for the inside for your sentiment and additional stamping if you choose, and that is cut at 3 1/8 by 4 7/8. And again, you're going to need 2 of those because the other one is for this panel right here that we're going to ink up. So I had gone ahead already and cut that down to 3 1/8 by 4 7/8. I ran it through my embossing machine, and just look at that raised edge. Let's see if you can see that. These Stampin' Up! Embossing folders are awesome. The edge on that is awesome. All right, so now if you don't want to do this, just cut another piece of designer paper out of this, and just make sure you cut it down to size. But that's why I have on the paper here, you need 2. So if you don't want white, then just replace that with another piece of designer paper. Okay, so let's see. Monique has a Snapple Zero, Sugar Mango Madness. Wow, that sounds good. And, oh, Lori, you're a big party animal with coffee and M&Ms. I know. Well, my husband just went to go buy Oh, Jean was saying it's so hot in Florida. It's like 95 degrees here right now. So after I'm done here, we're going to eat dinner, and my husband and I are going to go swimming and just hang out in the pool. And so he went to go get some hot dog rolls. We're just going to make some burgers and dogs. All right. And then our last piece, which is for our front stamping piece, is 2 1/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, so that's everything. I have this card for you, so hopefully you can come back if you want to recreate this and get all those dimensions. All right, so let's start. So like I said, this was our 4 1/4 by 11. We're just going to score that at 5 1/2. Get this piece ready. 3 1/4 by 10. Score this at 5. We're going to just fold this. And I always just make sure, because sometimes my scoring board is just off like a smidge. So I line it up at the bottom so I don't have any overhang. And so see how I have that extra, if you understand what I mean, I need to flatten that out a little more. Otherwise, if I laid it, see how you'd see the two colors? So I just kind of line it up at the bottom. And again, that's the OCD in me. And then I just flatten it out, just like that. Now it's perfect. Okay, so, oh, here's what the optional piece is for. So remember, close to my heart cardstock, when we lift up, we're going to cover this piece. Oh, no, hold on. This piece I wasn't concerned about. It was this piece, because when I backed it up against this cardstock, the light, I didn't like the way it looked. So that's why I'm using my optional piece just to completely cover that inside. So just like that, okay? But you don't have to do that. That's just what I wanted to show you. All right. Actually, I'm just going to adhere that down real quick. Where's my tape? Just so I can get that out of my way. And then we're going to do the stamping and the heat embossing. And then we'll just put it together because, like I said, it's going to be very easy. Most of it is going to be your decorating because you got plenty of layers. Okay, so that, and now I'm just going to have to fold this again. Here's my husband, so I can see him pulling up, so you're going to probably hear my dog. Okay. That's okay. I got a little hang there. All right, now, next, oh my God, I did miss a step. I screwed up, but that's okay. Now, here is our 4 1/4 by 11. We scored it at 5 1/2. I didn't screw up. What you need to do now is on the top piece, we're going to take off 2 3/4. Okay? I just went ahead of myself and put the back side on. So let me grab my trimmer. Hold on one second. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in my trimmer. Now make sure you're on the top, and you're going to cut off 2 3/4. Right? Let me just double check. Yep, 2 3/4. Okay. So we're just going to be left with that piece right there. So that's what, so let's look at the directions here. 4 1/4 by 11, score at 5 1/2, then cut off 2 3/4 on one end for the top piece. I did it on the top because I want the dark showing. So here basically is our card. That's what this is going to be used for, okay? And then this is just going to layer up in here. So let's get a few more layers down that we can. We can adhere this, 4 1/4. What is this piece? I'm sorry. This is 4 by 5 1/4. So that goes right there. Okay. Now let's do our front. So this piece right here is our 2 1/4 by 3 3/4. So I'm going to use, I have this Deco paint marker. I'm going to use this. I don't know if anyone has this. I have this in silver and gold. And this is what I did, if you could see. See the edge? I just drew around with that. It kind of finishes it off. I like doing that. So it's just not such a, you know, a harsh edge of the paper. I just kind of think that finishes it off. So let me just get a piece of scrap paper. And seriously, this has like that chisel type tip. All I did that's it. Turn it. I don't have a steady hand. Okay, and don't touch, because it is paint, so just leave that for a minute. You know, don't touch on the edges. But doesn't that look cool? Right? And it's okay, I went a little thicker there. I could even fix that up, but you know what? I feel like if I fix it up, I'll make it worse. So I think it looks fine. Let me see if I have any questions. No? Okay, so next what we're gonna do is I wanna do that heat embossing. So heat embossing, if we remember, we need to use, I do have some old, this is an old container, Stampin' Up's old container of gold. This is what it used to come in. Now they sell, I think they have the Ranger ones too, or the Wow. They sell the Wow. You always want to make sure you use your, what do they call these things? Embossing buddy, right? I always, wherever I'm going to heat emboss, I just rub this over. There's powder in here, so that kind of makes, it doesn't make any of the embossing powder stick where it shouldn't. Now, we're going to use colored embossing powder. So when you use colored embossing powder, you have to use Versamark ink. So Versamark is a clear watermark ink, right? There's no color on the pad. So you stamp with this, you sprinkle over your colored powder, you heat set it, and then you get that color. So that's what we're going to do. I have my heat gun right here off to the side. I'm going to hold it with a tweezer. And I'm using the Hello There, Let's Catch Up stamp. I have that on my block already. And anyone who knows me knows I love to do a stamp off first. But with Versamark, it's, you know, a shot in the dark. So can't really do that. Right at the top. This kind of fits perfect. Okay. Now you're going to take, I use a coffee filter. I feel like that's always the best thing. I'm going to pour my powder. And the coffee filter just catches everything and it just makes for a nice clean surface. Just kind of shake it around so it kind of grabs into all that glue from the Versamark. Tap, tap, tap. Now, let me just clean this up and I'll show you a trick because we want to always get this out of our way. Otherwise, I'm sure this has happened to you before when you turned on your heat gun or you knocked it over and this stuff went flying everywhere. Okay, so let me close this up. Now on here, right, I have some, see, I have some extra sprinkles. If I heat set that, it's going to make a mark. So some tools to have is always like some paintbrushes, right? Don't swipe over that because it'll take it off. But different sizes. Sometimes I have little ones, you know, if I need to like clean or, you know, a nice tap. But you want to try to get as much as you can off. And that's why using your embossing buddy is the best thing to do. Which I might need a new one. Okay. Perfect. So let's heat set that. This is the Ranger heat tool. This is the one close to my heart, used to sell. It sounds very low, but it is super hot and it really works awesome. I know Stampin' Up! Has one also. Okay. So there we did some embossing. Cool. And it matches perfectly that outline there, right? Okay, now we want to do some stamping on here. And if you see in my sample, I have 2 shades. So I did second generation stamping there. So I stamped it once and then stamped it twice without putting it back in my ink pad. Hey, Diana. You're still at work? Okay. Thank you. Oh, thanks, Susan. All right, so what we're going to do is, just like that, I'm using almond ink here. So I'm just going to stamp. And then without putting it back in my pad, I'm going to second generation stamp. So let's bring that up. So see now it looks like coffee stains, more of a stain. So just do that a few times. And remember, stamp off the paper. Doesn't always have to be perfect. That's okay, that's probably going to get covered up anyway. Okay. So we just have lots of coffee splats around. Let me just shut my door. Okay, so there goes that. All right, so let's move on back to our card. What are we up to? We have that, we have that. All right. Oh, let's do this since we have our inks out. So now I just want to show you this technique. Maybe you don't want to do it in this card. That's totally fine, but I just want to show you this because it's really cool. So again, you want to use the raised edge. And this is going to be super simple, but could be messy. Let me clean up my space here. Okay. So I'm going to show you, this is espresso ink and I have almond, and I did it with both, but I felt the espresso just went better. So this is just some examples. This was using the almond and this was using the espresso. So again, I'm on the one with more of the raised side. So all you do, I thought this was really cool, is just take your ink pad and just swipe it. And then I was like, this was kind of, it almost, I was getting like a feeling of wood. Then it was feeling like coffee. I don't know. So I was like, all right, this is kind of cool. So I just think because of this raised edge, and if you don't want to get inky, just take a piece of scrap and hold your fingers there. Now you can go sideways. That's all I'm doing. I'm just putting my ink pad flat and pushing. You know, not heavy pressure until you think that's good enough. All right, like I think that's kind of cool. Then I took just a blending brush and just kind of, let me get another thing to put my fingers under. And all I did was kind of now came in from the edges. So it just, to give it more of a blurred look, and going straight over it so it's just not white, kind of trying to get all that white out of there. Just like, here's the sample. So see it where it's white, there's a little bit more beige. I kind of inked around all the edges. That's what I'm trying to do. And I'm applying hard pressure right now. So see the difference from where it's all the white to when I put more shading over it. And just go right on top over it and up the sides. Okay, I think this is pretty much good. Just let that wait a few minutes off to the side to dry. Okay, so that's another cool trick, playing with our inks. All right. Okay, so we're building our pieces. And let's bring back our card now. Okay, so what pieces do we have left? Here's our card base. Remember, this is the piece we cut off, and then this is our card base so far that we've built. So now we have our 2 3/8 by 4 1/8 designer paper. This we're going to adhere right to this front panel, leaving a little bit of a 1/8 of an inch border around. Okay. Now we are going to take, okay, this is the 2 1/2 by 4. That's the DSP. We're going to take that piece we cut off, and we're going to take our white panel, that's 2 5/8 by 4 1/8. We're going to adhere all these together. So this is going to adhere against that. All right, and then you're just going to put this on top of that. And this is the piece that we cut off. Remember, 2 3/4 off the top edge of the card. All right. Did I even that up? Yeah, I'm good. Nope, I'm going to do it one little smidge off. Okay, so that's our top piece. So now we want to add this piece, center that right in the middle on top. Just like that. So that's our top. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece, and that's going to lay right on there. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to put 3D foam tape just on the top portion of the card. Okay, so I'm going to grab some of my foam. And again, make sure you're at the top. So I'm just going to probably do 2 layers of these. And that is good enough. Little suckers get stuck. They're such a pain sometimes. Okay. So now this, you're going to line that up right about there. Okay. Now we're going to take our inside piece. This was our inside card, remember. This is going to go kind of lined up in the middle, just like that. Okay, so you see it. If you want to use some strong tape here, you can do that, some liquid adhesive, whatever you think. But I'm just going to put lots of my adhesive. This adhesive that I use is pretty strong. Okay. Just put that right in the middle, just like that. All right. So now let's do the inside. Let's get the inside done. So we need our DSP 3 1/8 by 4 7/8. That's going to be on the top there. I just love this paper. I had to order some more for the card kits that I have to make. Again, you have till the 14th to get that. If you want to get my card kit in the mail, that's the 4 cards that I made in my class, the videos on YouTube. You'll receive everything in the mail to make that with a $50 order on my website. And also I have a private group, and using my host code will also, I will invite you to my private group if you're a new customer of mine, and then you're also entered into, I usually do anybody who places an order for the month, I do spin the wheels and stuff. Okay, next we need for our inside sentiment, 3 1/8 by 4 7/8, and I already went ahead and did that, so you didn't have to watch me do all the stamping. But again, just use your stamps, they're fun, right? And always design the inside of your cards. So that's just gonna layer up right there. All right, so our inside is done now. Let's, right here. So now here's our inked piece, right? And I think that kind of just goes with the paper underneath. You know, the colors are a little off, but I just thought it was kind of cool, and it just went with the vibe I was going for. I was like, all right, I'm going to keep it in there. All right, so that goes on top. And what did we use for in here? Okay, this is where we put our coffee cup that we stamped and colored, and then punch that inside piece out so that can go there. So it's like a top view. Then we're gonna put our urn right there. So it's just like a coffee scenery. Then we're gonna put our 3 little doodads. Okay, so we're just gonna do some liquid glue on this. This is my favorite item. So the person who won in my group this month on orders did get this, because I said my first month you're gonna get my favorite item from Stampin' Up, because I used to be a Stampin' Up demonstrator many years ago, but just as a hobbyist. Okay. So we're just gonna put that right there. I wouldn't put any dimension on this side, on this layer here, because there's enough. Cute. And again, I just stamped these in black, and then I colored them with my markers. Shoot. Well, it's going there now because there's a glue spot. I wanted to put it on top. Oh, darn it. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, so there's that layer. Now we're going to go back to our top layer, and we are going to, so see how it doesn't matter? Now look at how cool that looks when you cover up some of those splashes. So we're just going to put this straight down to the paper. Right about there. We're going to bring in those 2 adorable coffee cups, and we're going to make sure one goes this way and one goes this way, and kind of like maneuver them. And the top one I would put a foam dot on. So I'm just going to put regular adhesive on this one, and then we'll get a little tiny foam square. This one, actually maybe this one will fit. Yeah. How cute. Also, you can throw on a few of these are the adhesive backed swirl dots that go with this collection if you want to pop a few of them on there. But I think we are finished now. So hold on, let me hold up the directions for you again. I just wanted to cap that. So if you want to take a screenshot, and like I said, I'm going to pop this video over to my YouTube channel now. So if you don't have this set and you want to pick up these items to totally recreate it this way, you can do that and go watch the video, or recreate this with something in your stash, right? Like we have so much craft stash. Use what you have. But of course, I'm going to show you newer products and some new things out to inspire you, right? Because you want to always see new products, but use what you got in your stash. But just look how cute this is, right? I think it's adorable. And I'm going to be doing this so much more. I love this. I wasn't doing this technique too much with the inside of my cards and putting that inside layer. And I've been going through some training of some other demonstrators that I'm following, and I really do like that look. So I'm going to be doing that a lot more on my cards. I like the inside stamping and stuff. You know, we know stamp our envelopes and decorate those, but stamp the inside. It's not always just for sentiment. So whatever, blah, 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 blah. I'll just keep going on. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you had fun watching me play with the bundle again. Oh, I wanted to share another thing with you because I did throw a lot of 8ths and 5/8 and all these measurements out. I always keep this handy on my craft table. So take a screenshot of this, print this out. It's just the part of the ruler that helps. And we know every little mark is a 16th, right? And we all have our ways that we do this. This is 1 full inch, but these are all the cuts that come between it. But when I tell you, I refer to this so many times. So if you say you don't, believe me, I know you out there. Do you know how many times before I looked at something like this, I would have to look up on Google, like, where is 5/8 on a ruler? Where is 5/16? Or, you know, but always have one of these on your craft desk. All right, that was something else I wanted to share with you. I think I went through everything. Yep. Oh, here it is. I just wanted to show you again the set, the Latte Love. Super fun. So my next live is going to be on the 21st. So come back on the 21st and I'll probably be using this set again because that's what I want to do. I want to kind of use it multiple times to really get some use out of some of the new purchases that I'm making. All right, ladies, thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Enjoy. Bye-bye.